Hi everyone, welcome to Documentary of Crime and welcome to another shocking case. So, don't waste the time, let's go.
Hello everyone, my name is David. Today we are going to take a look at another real story with you. In India, there is a state called Kerala. A family in Kerala has had a landline phone for the past 20 years. They haven't surrendered it or disconnected it. These days, when everyone has a mobile phone and hardly anyone uses landlines, they still refuse to cut off theirs. For the last 21 years, they've been waiting for that landline to ring, believing that when it does, a long-standing mystery will finally be solved. They are convinced the person they expect to hear from knows only one thing: the number of that landline. That's why they've kept it all this time. This is the story of Kochi, which is city of Kerala. Smeta, a young woman from Kochi, had her family arrange a marriage proposal for her. They found a good match, a man named Anthony, who was also from Kochi. Both families met and Smita was married to Anthony. Anthony was an engineer working in Dubai with a good job. He liked Smita and she liked him as well. With the agreement of both families, the marriage took place. After the wedding, the couple enjoyed their honeymoon period. But soon after, Anthony returned to Dubai for work. Left behind in Kochi, Smita began to feel lonely. Anthony promised her that he would quickly arrange her visa and make the necessary arrangements for her to join him in Dubai so they could live together there. This was back in 2005, when things were very different. Phones were rare and letter writing was still common. Smita would write to Anthony about her daily life, where she went, what she did at the office, what she said, who she argued with, who she befriended. She shared everything with him. She would tell Anthony every little detail of her life, and at the end of each letter she always wrote that she missed him deeply. She also wrote about the places they would visit together once she came to Dubai, where they would go, what they would see. This continued for 4 months. Finally, after those few months, Anthony first got Smita's passport made and then arranged for her UAE visa. After receiving her visa, Smita reached Dubai on September 1st, 2005. Anthony came to pick her up, and the two of them were happy together. But only 2 days passed in Dubai before September 3rd arrived. On September 3rd, Anthony went to the Indian consulate in Dubai and filed a complaint. He said that his wife had arrived in Dubai just 2 days earlier, and suddenly she had gone missing from their home. She left behind only a letter with a single line written in it: "I am going with the one I love of my own will." This meant that she had left with her lover. Anthony gave a copy of this one-line letter to the Indian consulate along with his complaint. He also said that he had searched everywhere for his wife, but all he found was that letter, proof he believed that she had gone away with her lover. The Indian consulate told the Dubai police to investigate the matter. The Dubai police were given that one-line letter along with the full details. They conducted an investigation, but Smita could not be found. Meanwhile, in Kochi, Kerala, Smita's family learned that she had suddenly gone missing. They grew suspicious of their son-in-law, since everything had seemed fine before. They contacted the Kerala police and asked them to file a report about their missing daughter. But the police said the disappearance had happened in Dubai, not in Kerala, so they couldn't register a case there. The family was sent back, told that since it happened in Dubai, it was for the Dubai police to investigate. Smita had gone missing in 2005. 10 years passed and still the family kept going in circles. During this time, Anthony once traveled to Kerala and went to a court in Kochi, where he filed an application for divorce from Smita. He claimed that Smita had left him, that she had run away with her lover, and even showed the letter as proof. He said she had betrayed him, so why should he remain with such a wife? Therefore, he wanted a divorce. The court granted Anthony the divorce, since it appeared from the letter that Smita had left on her own. Within a few months, Anthony remarried and went to America, where he found a job with a multinational company. Back in Kerala, Smita's family was left with nothing. Their daughter had vanished without a trace, and the police were doing nothing. Then, one day, they heard that the Chief Minister of Kerala would be visiting near their home. Some people advised them to go and meet him, saying he might help them in the search for their missing daughter. Smita's father requested time with the Chief Minister and finally met him. The Chief Minister of Kerala listened to the entire story, then called the state DGP and instructed him to help find Smita, whatever it might take. Since it was the Chief Minister's order, the DGP had no choice but to comply. He immediately handed the case over to the crime branch. The crime branch began its investigation, but at first, they found no evidence at all. The only thing available was the letter. Anthony had made several copies of it, one of which ended up with Smita's family. Smita's cousin Johnson, who lived in Dubai, had once come to India, and Anthony had given him the letter to deliver to her family. They had carefully kept it safe. Now, as the crime branch police investigated, that letter too came into their possession, along with whatever little information and clues they had managed to collect. The crime branch had the letter tested by handwriting experts to determine whether it was Smita's handwriting or someone else's. The report revealed that the handwriting was not Smita's at all. So the question arose, whose handwriting was it? The crime branch decided to check whether it matched Anthony's. The letter was sent again to a forensic laboratory abroad for further handwriting analysis. They compared it with samples of Anthony's handwriting that were collected from Smita's belongings at her home. The results showed that the handwriting on the letter closely matched Anthony's. Though not a perfect 100%, the expert's opinion was that it could very well be Anthony's handwriting. This suggested that Anthony himself had written the one-line note in Smita's name, and if he had, then what exactly did it mean? Based on the handwriting report, the crime branch registered a forgery case. But the problem was that Anthony was now in America, living with his second wife. To move the case forward, Anthony needed to return. Only then could the truth come out about whether he wrote that letter, why he wrote it, and what really happened to Smita. So, in 2015, the crime branch arranged a way to lure Anthony back to Kerala. As soon as he arrived, the police arrested him. They told him, "This letter is in your handwriting. You wrote it, and you are the one behind it." After his arrest, the police interrogated him, but it led nowhere. He was subjected to a lie detector test and even a brain mapping test, but no useful clues were found. Still, the forensic report clearly stated that the handwriting on the letter matched Anthony's far more than anyone else's, and it did not match Smita's handwriting at all. The crime branch decided to report the entire story to the senior authorities since a new revelation had come up and the case now seemed to be high profile. Meanwhile, Smita's family submitted an application stating that, because the matter involved another country, the crime branch might not be able to overcome all the hurdles. They requested that the case be handed over to the CBI. The family then approached the Kerala High Court, which ordered that the investigation be transferred to the CBI. So, in 2016, the case was officially handed over. The CBI began its investigation, and the Kerala High Court also issued another directive. The Indian consulate in Dubai should be contacted, and Smita's photographs and other details should be pasted on every wall and every newspaper in Dubai. When this was done, the Dubai police also became active, and because of this, they revealed something new. When the Dubai police began their investigation, they reported that through India's Ministry of External Affairs, they had been contacted and new information came to light. A body had been found near Dubai back in 2006 and kept in a morgue for an entire year. Photos were taken, samples collected, and DNA preserved from that body. When this development was shared with the case investigators, it was revealed that the body was still stored in the morgue as the person had never been identified. It remained there in the hope that someday new information might help establish who it was. Then they told that maybe it was a Smita's body, so send their parents to Dubai so they can recognize. When Smita's parents arrived in Dubai, the police showed them the photographs of the body. The moment they saw them, they said, "This is our daughter." But because the body's condition was very poor, it was difficult to recognize her with certainty, even from the photos. So, although Smita's parents believed it was their daughter, the Dubai police decided that the only way to be sure was to conduct DNA testing. The DNA sample was taken, and then something strange happened. The DNA report showed that the mother's DNA matched the body, but the father's DNA did not. This created a very unusual situation for the Dubai police. On one hand, parents saw the photos and recognized as Smita, but legally, that meant nothing. Forensics showed a partial match with the mother's DNA, but none with the father's, and even the mother's match came with many ifs and buts. Smita's parents stayed in Dubai for a week, but eventually returned to India, helpless. Meanwhile, the CBI continued the investigation. In 2019, the CBI filed a charge sheet against Anthony in court, essentially holding him responsible. Along with that, reports of the voice test, the letter, and other evidence were also submitted. The case was ongoing in court, but nearly 18 to 19 years had passed, with no conclusive outcome. Then a new twist appeared in the case. Smita's cousin Johnson, who had been working in Dubai and who had carried the controversial letter back to India years earlier, came forward with fresh information. He revealed that Anthony had been staying in the same house as another woman from Kerala who was also working there. The other woman also used to do some household work, though she couldn't really be called a live-in partner. But Johnson said that perhaps Anthony and this woman named Divyani had some kind of relationship, which was why they were living together in that house. When Smita arrived in Dubai and discovered that her husband was living in the same house with another woman, arguments began between them. Smita found it strange and unacceptable that her husband, so far from home, was sharing a house alone with another woman. This caused serious conflict between them, and they argued frequently. According to what Johnson told the police, on December 3rd, the very day Smita went missing, a big fight broke out in that house. The argument was between Anthony and Smita, and it escalated into physical violence. Smita was injured in the head during the altercation. When Johnson knew about all this, he became very angry because he felt that another woman was destroying his sister's marriage. He confronted Divyani and, in the heat of the moment, he slapped her, saying, "It's you who is ruining their home. If you weren't living here, maybe they wouldn't be fighting like this." Divyani slapped him back, and soon someone at the scene called the police. The police arrived and arrested both of them. They were kept in jail for a few days, after which Divyani was deported back to Kerala. That's when Divyani's side of the story came out. Since she was now in Kerala, the CBI went to her house, questioned her, and took her into custody. Later, she was presented before a magistrate, and her official statement was recorded. In her statement, she said that on September 3rd, when she returned home from work, she saw Smita and Anthony fighting. Smita was bleeding from her forehead, and it looked as if Anthony had hit her. Seeing this, Divyani left the house. Later, she herself had a fight with Johnson, which escalated into physical violence, and the police took both of them into custody. After Divyani gave her statement, it was decided that she should undergo a lie detector test and brain mapping. After those, the last test left was the voice test, which required her to be taken to Ahmedabad. She was put on a train with the CBI team for the journey. But on the way, something shocking happened. Divyani went to the washroom, but she never returned. Then CBI went near the washroom and saw that a female officer was also present, and then suddenly, officers opened the door. They saw Divyani fainted on the floor. She was rushed to the hospital, but soon after, it was confirmed that Divyani had died. Photographs were taken, and later it was declared that her death was not natural. She had committed suicide. This brought a strange twist to the case. The question now was, What truth did Divyani know? What was she so afraid of that she chose to take her own life instead of revealing it? Perhaps it was because she had lived alone with Anthony, and there may have been some relationship between them. She might have feared that if the truth came out, she would end up in jail. Or perhaps she knew something very important about Smita's disappearance, which pushed her into taking this extreme step. Meanwhile, new information arrived from Dubai. The body that had been kept in the morgue had actually been recovered on the 3rd of March 2006, and the post-mortem revealed that death had occurred on the 3rd of May 2006. But Smita had gone missing way back in September 2005. This raised serious questions. If Smita went missing in September and a body surfaced only in March the following year, then where was she all those months? Who was she with? Where had she been living? Why hadn't anyone searched for her? And why didn't Anthony seem to know anything about her during that time? The post-mortem report of the body found in Sharjah concluded that the woman had died a natural death, not a murder. But if that body was really Smita's, then the mystery deepened. Between September 2005 and March 2006, where exactly was she, and what had happened to her? On the 2nd of November 2024, the court delivered its verdict. The court said that this case had too many loopholes and unanswered mysteries. There was no clear proof whether Smita's disappearance meant she was dead or alive. Since there was no concrete evidence against Anthony, the court acquitted him. The court also noted that the main piece of evidence, the letter supposedly written by Smita, stating, "I am going with the one I love," was unreliable. Forensic experts had earlier said the handwriting matched Anthony's more than Smita's, but the court pointed out that the letter had passed through many hands before reaching India and eventually the CBI and crime branch. It could easily have been tampered with, rewritten, or altered by anyone along the way. Therefore, the court ruled that the letter could not be considered solid evidence. Secondly, regarding the body found in Sharjah in March 2006. If that body was indeed Smita's, then it meant she had been alive for several months after going missing in September 2005. The most important detail was the post-mortem report. It clearly stated that the woman's death was natural. She had not been murdered. So, if that body really was Smita's, then the conclusion was that she had died a natural death. No one had killed her. The court also said that all the tests conducted on Anthony, lie detector, brain mapping, and voice tests showed no indication that he was hiding anything. None of the results suggested that Anthony had killed Smita. The court concluded that Anthony truly knew nothing about Smita's disappearance, and he was telling the truth when he said he had no idea what had happened to her. He had been arrested in 2015, and for the next 9 years he lived out on bail, unable to leave India and staying in Kerala. Meanwhile, since 2005, Smita's family has been waiting for her. Her father has passed away, and now only her mother, her sister, and brother-in-law live in the house. Even today, they still wait for the ring of their landline phone, hoping that one day it will ring and they will hear some news about Smita. But until now, no call has ever come. Yet the family strongly believes that if Smita is alive, one day she will call that number. And if she has died, then someday someone will bring them proof or at least a clue about what happened. Even now in 2025, no one knows where Smita is, whether she is alive or not, and if she is dead, whether she died naturally or was killed. Nothing is certain. So this was today's story.
So this was today's story. I hope like this video. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.